There was a controversy where apparently Joe Budden interviewed Hoffa, and the interview never came out.
Oh, really?
Because
I didn't know this.
Because Hoffa said something that was perceived as homophobic or insensitive to those kind of people throughout the interview, and apparently that was enough reason for the interview to never come out. And this all played out in another interview that they did where they were talking about it and everything. And I actually sent Hoffa a voice note last night saying, I'm going to interview Vlad. I was thinking about mentioning this topic. What exactly did you say in that interview that was considered this offensive? And I told him that I was going to quote him. It was basically about asking whether it was okay to ask a friend if he's gay. My argument was, that's really my friend. He shouldn't have to hide anything from me. But Joe felt like that was violating. He adamantly opposed it and dragged it out and made it a whole thing.
He scrapped the interview over that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I told him, I said, I thought you must have said some monstrous shit, laughing emoji. Because to me, if you're going to not put a whole interview out.
It's probably more than that, though.
You have to really
Shout out to Math, man. I love you, Math. But I think there's a little more to that. And
yeah, he might have been downplaying it.
Yeah, without hearing it, you don't really know. But, I mean, Joe scrapped the Tasha K interview also, I think.
And that was more of him being concerned about defamation or her talking about certain people. That would have been the same logic by which I could have canceled that loose cannon interview before it came out.
Right.
What would someone have to say in order for you to not put an interview out in terms of, like, let's just stick to conversations about gay people? Could you imagine someone saying something that was so offensive that you were like, no, this can't come out on my platform?
Sure. Doing harm to gay people.
Promoting that kind of thing.
Yeah, performing harm to gay people. I wouldn't put that out. You know, there's certain misinformation. You know, like I remember we had because of an old interview I had with Willie D, which we did a flashback on, and Willie D was, you know, is anti-vax, and me and him had a conversation about, and you know, how him being anti-vaccine and me being pro-vaccine. We had a kind of discussion over it. And that video got hit with a community guideline strike.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And the first one that you get is just a warning.
I don't think they do that anymore.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. When they did it at the time, it was a permanent warning that never went away.
Oh, yeah.
But recently, maybe about 3 months ago, they actually introduced a program where you could take this little online class about what you got the guideline strike on, and then I think within 90 days, that strike will go away, unless you get another strike for the same thing during that time. So once that strike went away, well, the warning went away, I had this interview with QAnon Shaman that was just holding for like 6 months.
Oh, okay, that was old.
And yeah, it was old. And I was like, you know, this guy is anti-conspiracy, everything, like, so, and I had to cut out parts of those parts, you know, because I remember this whole spiel he did about why he didn't take the anthrax virus, you know, vaccine, and he had to leave the military over it. So some parts we had to cut out of it, but, you know, there's just certain things that you know is going to be problematic on the platform that you sort of avoid. You know, like people that have been banned on YouTube, I try not to interview.
Really? Have you had a hard time with that, though?
No.
Because I feel like I can interview someone like Steve Will Do It, and it doesn't matter. But then I was listening to a conversation with some of the other Nelk boys, and they basically said that YouTube warned them that if Steve Will Do It is a consistent presence in their vlogs, that could end up with them getting strikes on YouTube, which seems wild.
I don't fuck around with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to just avoid that. If you've gotten banned on the platform that I make most of my money at, why would I put you on that platform? Like, you know, I'm just, you know, wrestling with rattlesnakes. Like, you know, I mean, sooner or later it's going to bite you, and you can't be surprised when it does. So,
but at a certain point, how important is it for you to be principled in who you'll platform?
Man, we're doing a business here. We're doing a business. And, you know, I remember I talked to the Rumble CEO briefly, and we were supposed to potentially do something over there, but he never followed up. So we wanted to put the QAnon Shaman interview on Rumble instead, but he never followed up with me, and I hit him a few times, so I finally just gave up. But there are different platforms for different things. You know, there's Patreon and, you know, stuff like that. But, You know, you're running a business. Like, why would you sit there and be defiant over a business that really doesn't give a shit whether you do your millions of views or not? Like, YouTube doesn't give a shit about you. If every hip hop platform ceased to exist right now, not just me, you, academics, Nori, Sean Cotton, you know, Drink Champs, if everyone suddenly just got shut down by YouTube, their overall numbers would be completely unaffected.
Yeah.
Overall.
As much as those channels that you just named, to a lot of people viewing this right now, they feel like that is the entirety of the media world.
No, it's not. YouTube as a whole, that wouldn't even be like 1/100th of 1%. They would not care.
No.
And this is no shot, because I'm including myself in this pile. They don't give a shit. They're owned by Google. The company's worth like, you know, whatever, $900 billion. Like, they don't give a shit about what you're doing. So when you realize that, why would you sit there and push the envelope with them when they can shut you down, and that's it. And then it's over. Like, Steve will do it. It's a wrap. He can't start another channel, right?
For like the worst reason ever as well.
Was it like from a gambling ad or something like that?
Yeah, on his second channel, he was doing gambling, and I guess the rule is that you have to cover the URL, the .com URL or whatever site he was gambling on, and he didn't cover it, so he got over on a second channel, and it also took out his main channel where he had I don't know 5 million subscribers and was getting millions and millions and millions of views per video.
Yeah.
And it's like there are a lot of other places where you can make content. He obviously has a Rumble deal. He puts stuff on TikTok, Snapchat, whatever. But it really feels like they basically like decimated his career by taking away his YouTube presence, and he hasn't really been able to 100% get back on track, which is crazy.
Yeah. This is what happens when you don't take the shit seriously. You got to take the shit seriously. Like, we've been around for 16 years now. We've had a lot of strikes and warnings and threats and this, that, and the third, but we've managed to navigate through them because it's a business. Take it seriously.